Why, hello there. Jacob. Guess what? Ladies and gentlemen, we've made it. We are finally back to NFL football. Woo! About time, because I'm not going to lie, this offseason for your Minnesota Vikings has been, well, let's just say, interesting. Yeah. Yeah, like I say, I've made plenty of videos and stuff like that over the off-season stuff, so like I say, if you want to go ahead and check out the playlist and stuff like that, as well as in years past, because I know since the last time I made Vikings videos, I've added some subscribers and stuff like that, but yeah, this season right here marks my 6th. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, year 6 of talking about the Minnesota Vikings on my YouTube channel on a pretty annual basis. Maybe not necessarily every week, because I have had a couple of seasons there where just scheduling conflicts and this and that and the other thing, but 6 years of talking about this team on my channel. Good God, how the hell I'm still alive at this point, I couldn't even tell. Yeah, the Vikings don't make it easy, do they? Holy Moses. But I wouldn't have it any other way, baby. SKOL. So yeah, who do the Minnesota Vikings have in week 1? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We travel to the Meadowlands to take on the New York Football Giants. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The New York Giants are our first opponent, and this game, it's going to be interesting because week 1, at least as of recently, like I'd say over the last 5, 6 plus years or so, week 1 is basically like a tune-up game for everybody, because anymore, with like the CBAs and all that stuff, basically all but turning training camp into more of like a preseason walkthrough and stuff like that, as well as, joint practices and stuff, basically taking away, from games and stuff like that. This is really the first time we'll see everybody on the field together. And still, we're not going to see everyone together because TJ Hawkinson is on the PUP list. So he'll be out for at least 4 games. Yeah, like I say, week 1 is always interesting. So, let's go ahead and kind of break it down here. And I'll start off with probably the biggest question mark, the one that everybody has been talking about in the media, amongst Vikings fans, and amongst NFL circles. Sam Darnold, QB1. How is slinging Sam Darnold going to look this year? Because, well, the whole I'm seeing ghosts, the New York Jets, Adam Gase, Carolina Panthers, snafu and mumbo jumbo and all that stuff. Again, I can understand why a lot of people have concerns here. Because, again, the Vikings, they have a lot of good weapons here. I mean, I love the fact that they went out and got Aaron Jones. That should definitely help out with the run game. Obviously, Addison coming back off of his injury from the joint practices and stuff like that. So him being back on the field will add an extra boost for a much needed, boost. So Jalen Nailor, Tristan Jackson, this could be big, big games for those guys. Because Nailor showed flashes and Tristan showed flashes in preseason of what they can do. I mean, heck, Darnold already has a little bit of a connection with Jalen Nailor. I mean, he dotted him up and down the field with Nailor. So, if Nailor can stay healthy, because that's always been his bugaboo, is injuries. He could have a big year this year, especially with everybody blanketing JJ. Addison, potential legal issues, and then coming off of that injury in the joint practices. Don't be surprised if we utilize a lot of Aaron Jones as well, which won't necessarily be easy with that defensive line that the Giants have. Arguably one of the best D-lines in the league, I'd say. if I'm being honest with you here. Like, they're very underrated. They're young. They're hungry. I mean, Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau can single-handedly take over games themselves. Secondary for the Giants, I'm not 100% sure on. I mean, they do have a couple of pieces there. In fact, they just recently brought back Adoree Jackson, so that'll be kind of interesting to see where they utilize him and stuff like that. Plus, Daniel Jones. Kind of flipping it over on the other side here. Daniel Jones. Yeah, like I say, if you're a Vikings fan, that name probably still leaves a sour taste in your mouth. Probably more so if you're even a Giants fan at this point. I mean, the Giants fans, ever since that playoff game against us here a couple seasons ago, were probably wondering, like, did you really have to do that? Great. Now, now Daniel Jones is making north of $40 million a year, and let's put it this way. If he looks like he did against the Texans, this should be an easy win because holy moly, Daniel Jones. Some of those throws that he made in that preseason game really had me scratching my head there. Like, so if we can get that, with the Brian Flores defense, new pass rushers and guys like Van Ginkel, Jonathan Grenard, Dallas Turner is going to be in the mix. Ivan Payson manning the linebacker core. Stephon Gilmore stepping in. There's going to be a lot of pieces. In fact, even Fabian Moreau, if I remember, was a former Giant at one point in his career as well. So maybe there's a little something there. But yeah, I mean, like I say, the key for the defense is going to be get pressure on Daniel Jones. Get pressure on their run game. Like, don't let them, 4 yards in a cloud of dust. And also, there's this new rookie kid that they kind of have by the name of Malik Neighbors. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. This kid looks special. I just don't know if Daniel Jones or the Giants are necessarily the right fit here. But, again, I can't necessarily, crap on the Giants here for going out there and at least trying to get Danny Jones, a new weapon and stuff like that. I mean, heck, let's put it this way. Malik Neighbors could be so special that the Giants unretired a number like 90 years after it was initially used. If I remember right, the player was like one of the first Hall of Famers in NFL history. So, you better hope this kid is good. Which, honestly, I don't think Neighbors is going to be an issue here. I think it's going to be solely on Daniel Jones. But we also can't, like Jalen Hyatt burnt us a few times. I mean, they have some pieces there, too, that, let's be honest here, we haven't always been the greatest against, like, tight ends and receivers. Especially, the tight end mismatches and stuff like that. So, hopefully now with the Flores, Hellfire style of defense, if we can knock around Daniel Jones, knock around Singletary, knock around Malik Neighbors and those guys, I like our chances. And, of course, the special teams. With the new kickoff officially underway now, obviously preseason, it's just, but now we'll actually see some strategy. Now we might actually see a little bit of flavor. You know what I mean? Basically, preseason, let's be honest here, everything is vanilla, everything is basic, everything is, simple. Now is where you add the sprinkles, the toppings, the hot fudges, the strawberry jams, and stuff like that, and really spice it up. And God, I can't wait. Because, in reality here, ladies and gentlemen, this game against the Giants, a lot of momentum is at stake here because after the Giants, don't forget, the next 2 games are at home against the Niners and at home against the Texans. So if you go down 0-1 against the Giants, which could very easily happen, you're setting yourself up for a lot of potential issues down the pipeline here, especially with the Niners and Texans being the next 2 teams up. So, yeah, I mean, I can see why the national pundits and national media are very low on the Vikings and this and that and the other thing. Well, let's put it this way. they've never really liked the Vikings as far as I've, gathered and stuff like that for some reason. I really couldn't tell you, but regardless, we're back. And if the Vikings can get off the schneid, look very solid, if Sam Darnold can guide the ship, get his confidence going, get the continuity, get everything going here, I like our chances. But yeah, we're back, baby. Year 6. Talking Vikings. Oh, man. Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting season. As I've stated several times, because this is kind of that transition season. KOC, Quasi. Now it's your turn. Now it's your time to shine. Now it's your team. Let's see what we can do here. Let's get happy. Let's get excited. And let's push forward here, because if we do this correctly here over the next couple of years, we could be in a very prime window. And I will say, though, the NFC North is going to be very dangerous and very difficult. Caleb Williams, if he's the real deal, that's going to be, something to keep an eye on. The Lions are still one of the best teams in the NFL, which, again, still seems crazy to say, even as of like 2 years ago. And then the Packers, everybody loves the Packers for some reason, But they did step it up at the end of last year, those final 8 games, including making, a pretty good playoff push last year. So you bet they're probably going to only improve as well. So, again, we'll just wait and see. But yeah, I think that'll go ahead and wrap up this video for week 1. So in typical fashion, usually what I try to do, again, for some of my newer viewers who, might not be familiar with how I do these videos, I usually will film a reaction pretty much right after the game. Give or take, because I like to add some of my raw emotion into it, being a fan. Vikings Jacob is definitely going to be coming back. And if you've seen Vikings Jacob, yeah, trust me, you're going to want to stay tuned. So yeah, until we meet again, this is Jacob. SKOL Vikings.